Okay, and how you do the environment analysis, the book has told 5 different types of analysis. One is comparative advantage analysis, one is feasibility studies, one is SWOT analysis, assumptions analysis, and historical information analysis. These are the 5 different types of analysis the standard has mentioned. In this SWOT analysis, you are very familiar. Strength, weakness, opportunities, and threat faced by the program. So did you ever do any SWOT analysis for any of your programs?
Actually, it's funny that out of these 5, we don't normally do SWOT. We do the other 4.
You do the other 4, okay.
Yeah.
You do the comparative advantage analysis. You do like what if analysis.
That's for sure. Yeah, we do a lot.
Yeah, what if analysis is like, you know, it's like a simulation. What if this happens? What if that happens? You do a lot, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is the first time I'm hearing. All my previous PGMP, like they were telling, we are familiar with SWOT analysis, but we are not really familiar with the other things. That's what they were telling me.
I know, it's funny, right? Like, I mean, like when you say like SWOT, everyone knows SWOT. So, but the funny thing is when we do, at least when I do the analysis within the organization, like our organization don't normally do SWOT. I don't know why. I think it's probably embedded as part of the other analysis. That's what I think, because when we do the analysis, like the options, like when the PM or program manager present, right, it's always pro and con. So the pro and con would always probably have already embedded the strength and opportunities as part of it, and the weakness and threat as part of that option. So we always do pro and con. So pro and con would kind of take all these into consideration, I think. But I don't know, but strengths and things like that. I think what we normally do, that's what my personal thoughts are. Maybe the way that we don't do strength and weakness is that, you know, when we say, okay, we have done this multiple times, hence this is our strength, but not necessarily. If, you know, because there are other mitigations we can come up with to make something that we are not so great at or strong at still great. So it's kind of like these ones are not like fact, so we don't really do like SWOT probably. Okay, you know what I mean? Because a lot of business holders, stakeholders, or sponsors, they look at, like, okay, what is the fact? You know, you can't just say it's the strength and then that's it. Like the probability.
They will not encourage you to identify the weakness. Maybe they will only focus on the strength. Correct?
Probably.
Okay, so it's good that you know this, so I'm not spending much time. So you can go through the slides, comparative advantage analysis, feasibility
but
study.
I definitely need to go through it and memorize.
Definitely, yeah. Assumptions, like assumptions are actually, we are assuming it to be true, but it is not yet proven. You know, like I'm going to start a construction work in June. My assumption is like June, it will be a good climate. There won't be any rain. But unfortunately, if it rains heavily, my assumption is gone wrong. So you will have a number of assumptions already listed in your program, like from the initial stages itself. So at the various stages, you have to constantly do an analysis whether the assumptions are still valid or it requires some, you know, changes. So that's what assumption is. Historical information analysis is like always, we assume that your organization is having historical information already, previously completed programs, so that you can, you don't want to make the same mistakes again and again, no? So you
unfortunately, like the organization would always make the same mistake again and again, if you know what I mean.
This is because they are not having a habit of having a proper lessons learned from the previous projects. You know, like companies are doing projects for 20 years, 25 years, and 26th year they are repeating the same mistakes.
You know what, we're still doing it, like, but a lot of times it's kind of when a PM or program manager says something, it's like, remember, we did this last time and it's not right. We end up doing something like, which is a disaster, and then people are like, no, that was, people don't listen, right? Sometimes, but you can only help a program in a way.
Correct. Yeah. So having said
maybe
that,
construction in your field, probably, I don't know how much people learn from the lesson, but from IT, like, technologies change a lot these days, and then things get more and more like cheap, right? People want it to be more competitive, so people don't want to just look at the lessons learned. They just want it to be cheap, I think. Yeah.
But the thing is, you don't want to repeat the mistake. That's the most important thing.
Yeah,
so that's what the lessons learned are supposed to be. So when you plan for your new program or new projects, if you look back into a similar program you have done last year, so you will have a wealth of information there, which actually you have come across. And right from the planning stage, you will be able to deal with some of the issues. You can forecast some of the issues, and maybe you will be able to block that issues in the planning stage itself. Have you done the proper study of your lessons learned? That's the importance of that. But unfortunately, many companies are not adopting this, because PMI, they focus too much on this repositories and lessons learned. No project has to be completed without completing the lessons learned register. So PMI is very focusing on that, which I do endorse. That I do believe that is the right thing to do. Now, program management. Program risk management strategy is, again, we know risk can come anytime, any stage, or from any stakeholder. This is something every project or program people are facing. Unexpected risk coming from nowhere, right? That project I told you, that firefighting thing, it came from nowhere. We were progressing well. All of a sudden, we got a notice. So that risk came from nowhere. No one was forecasting that type of change of regulation, and we had to revise the entire system. It had additional cost. It affected a lot of other activities. It was not one activity. It had impacted on several other activities also. So successful delivery of the program roadmap aligned with the organization strategy and with consideration to the environmental factors found in environmental assessment depends on a well-defined program risk strategy. And already you have a knowledge area in risk management in PMP. So the same terms, everything is applicable here, right? This section addresses the specific program risk management strategy that drives the program risk management activities. Like, for example, identifying the risk, monitoring the risk, analyzing the risk, accepting, mitigating, avoiding, or retiring a program risk to ensure program is aligned with the organization strategy. Now we have to discuss about risk management for strategy alignment, risk threshold, program risk.
Muhammad, a quick question. What does retiring program risk mean?
Retiring program risk means, like, for example, you identified a risk earlier in the stage of a program, okay? Later on, you came to know that risk is no more valid. It's not going to happen. You can retire it. You can remove it.
Oh, okay, got it. Yeah.
Got it, no? You were expecting, for example, you were expecting a major change in regulation for certain thing in your program from the government. But then government officially announced it, this change is not going to be implemented. So you can retire it.
Got it. Okay. Yeah.
Initial program risk assessment, which will be done at an early stage, program risk response strategy. Like, whenever a risk actually comes, what response strategy you are going to take. If risk X happens, what will be my response? My response will be Y. How to counter that risk. So before going further, just I will refresh your memory. These terms: risk appetite, risk tolerance, risk threshold. You are familiar with this, no, April? What's the risk appetite? It's just like appetite we use for the food, right? Yeah, you need a refresher for this.
Yeah.
In risk, there are a lot of terms which you need to be familiar. Not much, maybe 8 or 10 terms. You can just refresh. Like appetite is like how much I can. Like normally we use the term for food, right? Appetite.
Yeah.
Organization's willingness to accept and deal with risk. How much risk the organization is willing to take. That is the risk appetite. Risk tolerance is the degree of uncertainty that the organization or individual is willing to withstand. How much I can tolerate. That is my risk tolerance. And the risk threshold.
I think I can't differentiate appetite and tolerance.
You can't?
Can you give me an example?
Okay. Appetite is like, for example, there is a high volatile environment. Okay. You want to start a construction there. Okay. Some organization will tell, oh, we don't want to do any construction in this volatile environment. Their appetite is low. But some others, okay, let's go for it. Maybe the environment is going to change. Okay, so they have a higher appetite. Okay. The degree of uncertainty that an organization or individual is willing to withstand. Another thing is like, if there is a schedule variance up to 15 days, it's fine. I can tolerate that. But if there is a delay more than 15 days, no, we cannot.
Oh, okay. Got it. Yeah.
Got it? And risk threshold, you got it, no? Great. Risk threshold is the measure of the degree of acceptable variation around a program objective that reflects the risk appetite. So the risk threshold actually reflects your appetite. Very closely related terms, and just need to understand the subtle difference between them. For example, risk threshold, I can say, if a glass of hot water, okay, is given to you, you can hold that glass for a certain temperature. Beyond the temperature, maybe you cannot, you will drop the glass. No, you cannot, your threshold is reached already. Maybe up to 50 degrees you can hold. Above that 51, you maybe will drop it. So 50 degrees is your threshold. Yeah. Get my point?
Yeah.
I do agree these terms are very close and very thin line of difference, but
yeah. Got it. Okay, thank you so much. I think even in the real life, I mix them up actually, and sometimes I would use interchangeable wording, but now at least I could be more accurate on these wording. Yeah, I appreciate it.
Okay, thank you.